What's happening, everybody? My name is Steve, and welcome back to Junkdrummer TV, where I give my initial reactions, my analysis, and my hot takes on the drummers of today and yesterday, and maybe tomorrow if I stick around that long. I am a professional drum teacher, and a gigging musician, and I have been for the last 20 years. Now, you may be saying to yourself, Steve, why do you have gigantic drumsticks with white tape on them? I'm glad you asked, because today's episode goes out to all of those teenagers who are in band camp this week, last week, and probably next week too. We're going to be watching some drum corps, specifically the Cadets of DCI. Okay, drum set players who come around here for the Gavin Harrisons and the Carter Beaufords, stick around because there's some cool stuff coming up, I guarantee you. Now, if you watch any of my other videos, you probably have noticed that I talk about marching band a lot, because there are a lot of famous drummers that started out in high school marching band, and even some that went on to do DCI. Specifically, Chad Sexton is the one that everyone talks about. I think Chad Sexton marched for the Blue Devils, I think. John Stayneer of Battles and Helmet, he definitely marched, I think, for the one out of Orlando. I'm not sure. I think Vinnie Paul messed around with DCI as well. I know for a fact that he marched in high school. Now, if there's any teenagers out there and you are aspiring to be great drum set players, I cannot recommend enough starting in band class. You will learn all of your basics and your fundamentals. One of the biggest things that being in marching band for me was I learned how to practice. I learned how to set a goal and how to reach that goal with just repetition, and practicing. So yeah, I have actually taught drumline for 13 years in 3 different high schools. I marched high school marching band for 4 years, and I was in my college marching band for another 4 years. So I have like 21 years in that business as well. I love DCI. If you don't know what DCI is, it's hard to explain. It's basically professional marching bands, except instead of getting paid, you pay them, which was always kind of a sticky wicket for me. But they go and do, during the summer, this whole circuit of competitions. There's one in my hometown every year, and it culminates in Indianapolis with the championships. And it's marching band nerd heaven, and I love it. It's wonderful. Like I said, drum set guys and girls, stick around, because next week we're going to do Buddy Rich, a little something for you jazz guys and girls. But today we're going to give it up for the drum line, and we're going to watch the Cadets do a section of Agnus Dei. Thank you, Vic Firth. I get so much content out of your videos. This is a video series that is wonderful for drum teachers. I use this all the time. This is going to be a pretty quick video, because you're going to see the section at tempo, and in the next section is going to be slowed down. This first part's going to be me reacting, because this is going to go really fast, and in the second part I'll do some analysis. So right here, right off the bat, nothing's happened. If you're in marching band, you've been in concert band, and you're a drummer especially, you understand about counting multiple measures of rest, and that's what's going on right here. So we're going to come right in on a big rim shot on the 4. We're going to play some triplets with some drags in the middle. Man, just the precision that these guys play. Okay, right there. Tell you what, we'll deal with that the second time through when it's slower. Playing 5/8 notes where there's usually 4 right there. We're playing 9/16 notes where there's usually 8. That is polyrhythm, children. I think. More rests. If you notice, they're marching all the way through that. If you've never been in marching band, a lot of this is going to feel alien. But if you have been in marching band, you're probably going to... yeah, man, there's those 9lets again. Splitting up those rhythms between the snare drum and the tenors. Playing in 5, back to 4, marching through all this. There's those 9lets again. We're going to deal with those here in a minute. Whew, man, if you can see that, it says gok. That's more rim shot than a rim shot. So like a rim shot's here, and a gok, you bring it back here and you hit at the right, really close to the edge, and you get a more high ping sound. Man, the precision. These cats practice 10, 12 hours a day. There's a 5/3 section, quarter note triplets, hand-to-hand flams. Those hand-to-hand flams, and those are right, rights, and lefts right there. That is so hard to get that fast. There's those 5/8 notes, where there's usually 4. Just regular 16th notes with accents going on. Triple stroke rolls over 16th notes. Man, when you think you've got your chops sorted out, watch these videos. The thing about the cadets, whoo! And you know, the cadets, excuse me, are usually consistently one of the top lines in all of DCI. I actually had a student, one of my very first students, ended up a tenor player for the cadets. I'm old enough to remember when the cadets were the cadets of Bergen County. Okay, so that's the section that we just watched. Now we're going to be able to go back through and we're going to watch it, and I think they're going to cut at 35%, so it's going to be slower. And now we'll actually be able to talk about some of the really insane heavy-duty figures these cats are playing. So yeah, slower tempo. I'll now be able to analyze a lot of this because, man, some of this stuff went over my head. It was going back so quickly, or going by so quickly. Yeah, so yeah, we're counting our measures again. If I had a dime for every time I had to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, I would have a lot of dimes. So if you notice, you can hear these guys, or you can see these guys counting right now. They're all making sure that they all have the same quarter note. The uniformity that is required to be able to pull off this art form is almost superhuman. So yeah, you hear just some ridiculously cool marimba stuff going on. And there's triplets. Here's a hirta, if you remember that. There's another hirta. One of the things that you can notice, now that it's slowed down, we can really talk about it. And I use this still. Again, if there's some teenagers out there and you're really serious about being a heavy-duty drum set player and, you know, want to get that gig, this is such a wonderful place to start. One of the things that I use that I got from Drumline, and man, every time I sit down behind the drum set, I utilize something that I learned from Drumline in high school and college, is they use a concept that I call height dynamics. If they want to play low volume or piano, they play at 3 inches. They want to play mezzo forte, they play at 6, 9, 12, 15. You can use that for your drum set playing. If you're trying to play a low volume ballad, let physics work for you. Use less height and you'll get less volume. If I want to be really loud, I bring my stick heights up, and I'm letting physics do the work for me. There's some physics equation that I don't understand that will explain all of that, but that's a good thing that you can learn from Drumline. Stick dynamics. Okay, so right here, let me go back just a little bit. Right here is something that is kind of a difficult thing to do unless you understand it. They're playing 2 triplet bass rolls, and they're going into a 5/5/8 note. So you see what's going on there is in the space of where you would usually put 3 and 4 and 1. They're playing 5/8 notes right there. Now, the only way that I've been able to kind of teach that is just get your metronome going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And that's kind of wrong what I did right there. But you're learning how to squeeze 5/8 notes over the space of 2 quarter notes. That is some really heavy duty playing, heavy duty figure playing right there. So this next thing that's coming up is these ninelets. You can see that those are 9/16 notes squeezed in over the space of where you would usually put 8/16 notes. So where you would put 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, you're now putting 9. And the way that I count is I go 1 E and a 2 E and a ka, and I put that ka sound in there. 1 E and a 2 E and a, let me do it again. 1 E and a 2 E and a ka 3. You know you're doing it right if you end on the opposite hand that you started out with. And again, set that metronome up, and you'll just kind of have to experiment on how to squeeze those 9/16 notes in the space of 2 quarter notes. And for you marching band kids out there, you can probably understand how insanely that hard that is to think about where your feet are going to hit underneath playing 9 quarter notes, 9/16 notes. Those were your triple bass rolls. There's some right, left, left, some right, lefts. That's another big thing for marching band that I use all the time. All of my stickings, all of my variations of my paradiddles and my paradiddle diddles, and the thing they call putta-does, those things that are so common in rudimental playing like this can be used for drum fills for days. If you're in the drum fill dumps and you feel like your drum fills are just getting boring, start utilizing your right left lefts and your right lefts and your paradiddles and variations of your RRs and your LLs, and you'll come up with a lot more cooler drum fills. Yeah, if you notice, there's lots of stick tricks. That's why I did that thing earlier. Counting again. Yeah, man, these cats have paid, thousands of dollars for the privilege of getting this kind of education. And I know a cat right now who marched for I think he marched for the Blue Coats. He's a cop. He hasn't played drums in forever. And that dude can still pick up a pair of marching sticks on a practice pad and straight slay shit. These kind of chops never go away. Because these dudes practice for hours and hours, all for trying to... There it is, there's that 9 again. Playing 9/16 notes where 8 usually would go, playing in 5/4. There's that gawk. I'm not sure what they're meaning by side pings. Okay, I'm going to take that lick right there. Triple bass rolls, putting an accent and a single tap on the 1, 2, 3, 4, and playing 2 double strokes. You can use that as a drum set fill all day. I use those kind of figures constantly in my playing. From 2, 3, 5, and then measure of 3, another measure of 3. They've sped up right here in the original. They went from 184 to 200, and that's how tight they are. Those hand-to-hand flams that become left, left, lefts, and right, right, rights, man, that's so hard to keep that clean and in that tempo. There's that 5 section again. If you notice, their stick heights are completely uniform. That's the only way that you can get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people to impact the drum at the same exact time. Another stick trick. There's just some paradiddles. Flam accents. Just lots of rudimental stuff that can all be utilized for drum set. Yeah, man. Drumline, baby. Around this time is when I have to teach tons of drumline parts. I would say that about 40% of my clientele are marching band kids. Yeah, a lot of them, play drum set on the side, but their focus is to, be in the marching band and win trophies on Saturday. So that was, something for the kids, man. And for all you drum set dudes out there and ladies, you can get a lot of stuff from what these guys do. Just really advanced rudimental stickings, flams, accents, what I call the ornamentation that you can put on a note. That stuff just transfers beautifully to drum set. Like I said, just the three that a lot of people talk about: Chad Sexton, John Stanier, and Vinnie Paul. All those guys were in marching band. I think, pretty sure Travis Barker was too. A lot of your favorite drummers started out as band nerds back in the day. So, to all my band nerds out there who's in band camp, don't wear black clothing. Wear lots and lots of SPF 80. And remember to count. And don't give your drumline instructor too much shit, because they're out there in that stupid heat with you. And they're not getting paid much to be there. So, there you go, man. DCI, drumline, snare drum, drum corps, band nerd. If you like that, please feel free to share, like, and comment. And to everyone out there, and especially all my drumline kids, keep practicing until it's easy.